Hello everybody, my name is Ellisa Cooper and this is Cooking in Quarantine Wine Edition. So as I was saying earlier, that it really is a complex subject, wine, and part of the reason is that it is one of the few agricultural products that has retained its regional specificity, right? So over the next few weeks, months, maybe years, who knows how long we'll be here, I'm going to teach you what I've learned is really important about wine. So starting today, since it's February the 1st, I'd like to celebrate here with a little sparkling wine. Those of you who've been watching me the last 11 months know how much I love my sparkling wine. So I have here a couple I'd like to start off with. And you may think, oh my goodness, what weird things to start off with. But I'm not just here to tout the wine itself. I want to try to get you guys to go out and try new things and to try some new wine stores, right? We all have a little more time on our hands than we previously did. So get out, go around, see something new. So I have here 2 bottles, Domaine Pierre Richard, Cremant de Jura. These wines are, the Blanc is a Brut, which everybody knows that I like Chardonnay no better way than in, in this bottle, than fully sparkling. I absolutely loved this wine. It was incredibly complex. And when I started reading about it, I realized very quickly why that was. And I have another bottle over here of the rosé that I'm going to just pour for myself because it is afternoon, for goodness sakes, and why not have a little bit of bubble in my glass. So now I did say that there's not a lot that you need to be able to enjoy wine, but I do recommend that you have a high quality champagne stopper. I recommend that you have a high quality double hinged wine opener. And when you're standing at the wine store and you ask yourself, why should I pay $10 or $15 instead of just buying the $5 one? It's about the worm. The worm needs to be small or it can mess with your corks. So that's something that you need for sure. You need also a white cloth or piece of paper because I've realized that all of my white cloths are dingy and horrible looking. You need a good glass made of crystal. And why crystal and not glass? Because the brim of the glass is so much smaller here. And you may think that that's just a persnickety little prissy thing, but it's not. It makes a big difference when you drink out of crystal versus drinking out of glass. Oh my goodness, so good. One last thing that you're going to need to be able to be a good student of wine is you're going to need to get in the habit of picking up one of the myriad computers that is right at your fingertips and looking up the wine. You may sometimes look at a bottle of wine and think, ugh, why is this all of this information? What is it telling me? Well, in reality, it's being very specific if you knew what it was saying to you. So we're going to try to decipher those things at the same time while I'm going to try to get you to buy a whole lot of bubbles for Valentine's Day. So this wine I found, like I said, it is Domaine Pierre Richard. It is a Cremant de Jura. If you don't know where the Jura is, another one of the reasons you need this computer here that's next to you is because you need to start learning maps. If you're not a traveled person, then you can travel in your mind as you go to all of these wonderful places where wine is made. So the Jura is south of the Alsace on the Swiss border. There's a little mountain range called the Jura Mountains even. So this wine is 100% Chardonnay, and this wine is a blend, let me get it right, 60% Pinot Noir and 40% Chardonnay. So these are exactly the same grapes that are used in champagne. And normally I would say that the biggest difference between Cremant and Champagne other than the price, is that Cremant is wine made in the same way as Champagne, but in regions outside of Champagne in France, using their own indigenous grapes, and it has a lower expectation of aging than Champagne does. This is not true with these wines. These wines meet and exceed the expectations for aging in Champagne, and I think that that's why they are so extraordinary. Like I said, the Chardonnay last night was so incredibly rich and beautiful and had so many, just made you think. The mouthfeel was rich, and mouth coating is all I can say. It was incredibly beautiful. If I haven't mentioned, I found these wines at an awesome little wine store I'd never been before, and I'm so glad I've been now, called Cool Wine and Spirits. And their URL is www.coolwineandspirits.com. They're on Canal Street, right at that weird little spot where 6th Avenue and West Broadway kind of cross each other at Canal Street. You can go to my favorite bakery, Grand Daisy, while you're down there and pick up a couple of these bottles of wine. What I'm going to say about this is it's a very small little wine store. JP is the owner, and it is absolutely one of those amazingly, perfectly little curated places that doesn't have a single brand name. It is all wonderful little family-owned, family farms, small importers. It's a great store, a wonderful place to spend your money. So get online, get this ordered. Domaine Pierre Richard, the Rosé, and the Blanc. Both of them are at $25. Beautiful. Call right away. Cool Wine and Spirits, 375B Canal Street, New York, New York, 10013. How did I remember that? So these are our first two picks for my wines you should be drinking at Valentine's. And just in case you can't get a good enough look at it and you don't know how to spell Cremant or Jura, let's get that right up there for you. There we go. Cremant de Jura. Cremant de Jura. And another thing that you'll learn whenever you drink a wine from outside of the United States that you love, always turn it around and see who the importer is. Because very often one or very few people are making the decisions about what wines are chosen and what wines are sold. So always remember to look for your importer. I want to make those guys just as famous as the winemakers, because they are the people who bring you, make the selections, make the long travels to go and find the amazing wines. So guys, happy February, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon in Cooking in Quarantine.